So, I just got approached by two children, and it shows just how entrepreneurial Moldova has become over the last few years. Hello, and welcome back to the Traveling Report. Today I wanted to go over why Moldovans have become increasingly entrepreneurial, and why it actually shows that even these kids could not have been over 13, are creating businesses, in this case a review sharing platform, and even giving vouchers, which I probably won't use, but I'll give them free reviews, why not? And this really shows how Moldova has changed over the past few years, really, because they are learning new skills out of necessity. And whenever you have necessity to learn new skills, you are inherently more likely to retain those skills and to grow those skills. And so, essentially, whenever I was sitting down, they approached me and started asking me, first in Romanian, I believe, or Russian, don't know, either way. And they started to talk about their service. They were doing stuff that was absolutely free. They were getting reviews for businesses, which, of course, it's not exactly the best business model to give fake reviews, but, of course, it's a way to make money, and realistically, the business, if they're truly sending people out and, giving people the, foresight to give out reviews and kind of learn the customer service, I'm sure they're decent businesses. So, in essence, a lot of what is going on now is increasing amounts of entrepreneurship, increasing effectiveness of entrepreneurship in Moldova. And if you're starting at 13, 14, and he asked me, he was talking about electric bikes. I guess this is what he's interested in. This is his hobby. He asked me a very direct question of, do you know how I can get bikes from the US to Moldova? And I told him, probably ship it to Romania and get it up from Romania to Moldova. And very respectful, he said thank you, and he went on his way. But this shows the crux of just how entrepreneurial Eastern Europe has become. And it's with this entrepreneurship bias that employees become invested in your success rather than thinking they're entitled to your money. I believe that Moldova will grow, and especially in entrepreneurship, will punch far above its weight, as it is a small country. There's about 2.5 million people here, and with that amount of people, you sort of have a large amount of people who can learn from others. And since it is such a tight-knit community, there is a lot of difference between what one person is doing and what another person can learn in comparison to the West, where it is more individualistic and people are less driven to spend time, going out and asking for reviews, going out and asking what the ability to ship from the US to Moldova is. And these kids may not know it, but they've given me a lot of hope in Moldova in the future, as they've created essentially what is a loop of businesses being started and entrepreneurship growing. And as Moldova increases its business market share, that's something that's very positive for the Moldovan economy. And it mirrors a trend we're seeing in places like Georgia, like Armenia, and the former Soviet sphere, once very closed off to business, is becoming some of the most pro-business areas in the world. And unlike the narratives of Africa, where there isn't infrastructure to grow businesses, there isn't a political will to grow businesses, in the former Soviet sphere, there is large-scale adoption of an excitement by entrepreneurship. And while I think that perhaps many people are looking at the wrong things in this regard, truly, if you're looking for a place that is going in the correct direction on entrepreneurship and on growing capital, I think that Moldova is one of the best places for that shift to happen. Now, I will go to Central Asia as well. I have a thesis about Central Asia, and I have some friends in Bukhara, Uzbekistan, which I will truly be looking at Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan as they grow. However, what you're essentially looking at is a social fabric that is changing, that is modernizing, that is becoming more pro-business, more capitalistic. And while the US is backtracking on those promises, these countries are pushing forward with massive competitive edge, as they're not beholden to regulations that may destroy the capitalistic entities that are widespread in these countries. And unlike places with high amounts of worker protection, which are a double-edged sword, of course you want to protect workers, but unlike that, it creates a backdrop of realistically very hungry people who are looking to improve, who are looking to create value at a level that I haven't seen in the US in a very long time. As whenever I grew up, obviously there was the tech boom, and then people stopped innovating. And so, as I have grown and learned about the industries in Moldova, in places like the Caucasus, they're much more dynamic and they're much more able to create value than what otherwise would be possible in places like America, in places like Germany or Italy. And while I think that those places are great for getting capital, I don't think they're great at yields, and I don't think they're great at understanding the true political will of people, of their people, and of people in general. And so, of course, if you're looking for the best entrepreneurial countries, feel free to subscribe. If you're looking to learn about entrepreneurship and governance, feel free to reach out to me for consulting. I do consulting one-on-one, 15 minutes, absolutely free. And if you liked the video, feel free to like it. If you really liked the video, feel free to share. This has been The Traveling Report, and I'm off.